The parallel. When two worlds look the same but only one is real. In the vernacular of space, this is T-1 hour. 60 minutes before a man named Major Robert Gaines is lifted off from the Mother Earth and rocketed into the sky. Farther and longer than any man before him. Call this one of the first faltering steps of man to sever the umbilical cord of gravity and stretch out a fingertip toward the unknown. Shortly we'll join this voyager named Gaines, because the environs overhead, the stars, the sky, the infinite space, are all part of a vast question mark known as the Twilight Zone. In the parallel, an astronaut wakes up from his mission to find himself home again. But his home has changed. A white picket fence where none existed. A rank that's risen overnight. A wife who kisses him and knows somehow that this is not the man she married. It's not terror he feels, it's displacement. Like waking from a long sleep to a world that almost fits but doesn't quite. That's the nature of awakening from the dream of separation. You come back to a world that looks the same but no longer feels real. Every object, every face, every memory carries a faint hum of wrongness, as though the projector slipped one frame out of sync. The Course in Miracles calls this the moment perception begins to shift from fear to love. The world doesn't change, the mind that made it does. Gaines insists the president is John F. Kennedy. No one's ever heard of him. History itself denies his memory. That's the mind awakening to a kingdom not of this world, watching the entire timeline reconfigure itself around a single new premise. Nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Time was always a trick of memory. The past and future merely reflections of the same false cause, guilt. Helen tells him, "You're different," and he is. The Holy Spirit's voice within the dream feels like strangeness to the dreamer who still believes in sleep. The ones who recognize truth least are the ones still certain they know you best. That's why awakening feels lonely before it feels whole. The officers at the base tell him not to worry. There's always an explanation. That's the ego's creed. If I can explain it, I can control it. But the divine has no explanation. Love doesn't justify itself, it simply is. Trying to explain God is like trying to define the color of stillness. Every definition limits what was limitless. Gaines blames himself. Maybe the malfunction was closer to home. Exactly right. It was never in the stars. It was in the split mind that believed it could leave heaven. The capsule he flew was just the body, a little metal shell meant to explore an illusion. The orbit was just thought circling its own belief. The world spins because guilt does. At home, even his daughter pulls back. She says he isn't her daddy. That's the moment perception refuses to mirror love. When guilt stares at innocence, it doesn't recognize it. Forgiveness reverses that blindness. It says, "You are myself, not because of form, but because there is no form." When he looks through encyclopedias, the facts are all wrong. Names have changed. Events he remembers never happened. That's the undoing of the ego's archives. History was only a defense against the present. Every grievance was a paragraph written to prove time existed. When the mind starts remembering truth, the ink begins to fade. He tells his friend it's as though there's another world, parallel to his own. Two worlds, side by side, identical in appearance but opposite in meaning. That's the split mind exactly. The ego's world of guilt running parallel to the spirit's world of forgiveness. They share symbols, home, wife, child, sky, but one uses them to imprison, the other to free. The miracle is the corridor between them, collapsing the distance every time love is chosen. He returns to the capsule, the symbol of control, and disappears. That's what happens when control yields to trust. He didn't fly back home, he forgave home into awareness. The return was never spatial. It was metaphysical, a merging of frames, a healing of thought. But then the radar picks up another signal. Colonel Robert Gaines, still orbiting. That's the mind that hasn't fully awakened. Each identity left behind still circles the same planet of fear until the dream ends entirely. Every world is just another orbit, another version of belief. Forgiveness collapses them all into one. The forgiven world, where everything is the same because everything is seen with love. He returns home and finds the fence gone. His daughter knows him again. The symbol has dissolved. That's the moment guilt is lifted. The fence, like every boundary, was never built of wood. It was made of judgment. And when judgment falls, there are no more worlds to compare. There is only one world left, the forgiven one. The ego dreams of exploring galaxies, but the true voyage was always inward. The final frontier isn't space, it's perception. Not the discovery of planets, but the recognition that there was never a planet at all. As the Course reminds, the journey to God is merely the reawakening of the knowledge of where you are always and what you are forever. Major Robert Gaines didn't cross into another dimension. He crossed from illusion to truth, from explanation to acceptance, from orbiting thought to grounded peace. Submitted for your approval or your forgiveness. A man who thought he had discovered a parallel world, when in fact he'd only remembered the parallel mind. You can accept it or reject it, but the challenge remains the same. Prove that it couldn't be so. Prove that this world is real. Prove that the fence ever existed. This happens to be the Twilight Zone.